Take me to work. Good morning. So today's an interesting day. I've got a court date. It's like a hearing for one of the cases. And it's not anything definitive, but it's just kind of going to determine whether this thing gets stretched on for another 6, 9, 12 months, or whether maybe we could wrap it up a little bit quicker. You know, part of me is like, oh, it'd be nice just to get this over with. But then the other part of me is like, you know, I think we could flip this case and turn it into something that where this guy's gonna have to pay us a lot of money. So it's half a dozen one. It'd be nice to just be done with it and not have to hear this guy's name or deal with this situation anymore. The other half of me is like, I don't know, I could probably, you know, stomach it for another year or so and take this thing all the way and possibly get a pretty large award out of it. So we'll see how it goes. Either way, it's like I said, it's not definitive. It's just kind of a procedural thing that, you know, they're trying to do something that would just extend this case and make it more complicated. So anyways, before the last video, I was talking about my kids, and I got through all the older kids who I'm extremely proud of. You know, they all work in our businesses. They're all doing well. They're all well-adjusted kids. I mean, none of them have any substance abuse issues. They're just good, smart, and pretty hardworking kids, which is, you know, something that you hear about kids these days aren't. But they're pretty good kids. Now my younger ones. So with my wife, I've got 2 younger ones. The boy is 13, and the girl is 7. And these kids are also amazing. I mean, we have been so lucky to have such great kids. But I mean, I'll start with the 13-year-old. I mean, here's a kid, athlete, scholar. I mean, literally A+ grades in school. I mean, I don't even know why it's possible, but like 4 out of 5 of his grades were A+. Sports, basketball player, football player, quarterback. I mean, just smart kid, a leader. Everybody loves the kid. I mean, he's so well-mannered and such a nice kid. I mean, I almost think, you know, you'd like to think it's your parenting, but it's just, I don't know where he came from. He's crazy. But here's a kid when he was growing up, 3 years old. We're playing football with one of those little footballs in the living room, and he's throwing the ball, perfect spiral. And when the kid's that age and that happens, you automatically think, oh my God, this is Tom Brady, or this could be the next Tom Brady, you know. But you don't know. I mean, now he's 13. He is the quarterback. You know, like I say, he's got the leadership skills, the intelligence, and he's got the arm. So we'll see. But I just thought that was interesting. And if he does do something with football, that's going to be a great story. You know, started when he was 3 years old in our living room. But another thing about this kid is he wanted to learn how to ride a bike. And we were like, okay, we'll do it this weekend, and he wanted to do it now. So he went out in our driveway. He gets on the bike, he's trying to ride it, falls over, he's angry, he's completely upset, keeps trying. I think he tried probably 3 or 4 times. And finally he fell over and, you know, seemed like he was defeated. And he was just like, and he went inside and he was just angry. Next day comes out there, starts over, and like within like 20 minutes he's riding the bike. I'm I'm just like, this kid just taught himself how to ride a bike. Gave it one try one day, got totally frustrated, and I think what happened was the last time he fell, he kind of hurt himself, his leg. And then, so he went inside, he regrouped, and he came back out, and like 15 minutes later, he's riding the bike around. That's just what kind of kid he is. I mean, we've got like a golf cart. He's been driving that golf cart since we moved into our house, and we were trying to figure out yesterday what age he started driving the golf cart. And we've been living in our house for 6 years, and he's 13. So he was like 7 years old when he started driving that golf cart. And I mean, he's driven cars. He always wanted to drive cars. He doesn't really ask about driving cars anymore. He ended up getting an e-bike. Another thing with him, he wanted an e-bike. So he's like, what can I do for money? What can I do for money? So he got chores. We have chickens. He was taking care of the chickens. He was washing cars, cleaning the garage. I mean, this was last year, so he was 12. And within, a couple months, he had saved up, that wasn't a couple months, it was actually like 4 or 5 months. He saved up for that e-bike, and he got that e-bike. And, I mean, watching him ride that e-bike's amazing. The thing goes 45 miles an hour, but he would be like, I want to ride to football practice, which is on the other side of town. So I would drive to the practice, and he would ride his e-bike, and he would beat me there by a lot. I mean, I don't know how he was doing it, shortcuts and stuff, but just amazing kid. And the places, I mean, no fear whatsoever, but also very rule oriented and law abiding, because the laws about those e-bikes are a little murky right now. I think they're trying to ban certain ones, or certain ones you need a driver's license. I don't know what they're doing, but so he would drive all over the place. And then just I think it was a couple months ago, he got stopped by the police because he was doing 45 in a 30, and the police gave him a warning and everything, and he's like, I'm done, I can't ride the e-bike. So it wasn't like he was going to rebel and try to hide or anything like that. He was just like, you can't do it. So, very smart kid, very determined. Football, he's on the flag football team that I coach. He's the starting quarterback. All the kids look up to him. Absolutely amazing. Sometimes on a team there's questions like, I want to be the quarterback. No question. No one even, they all know who the quarterback is, and which is pretty interesting. And we've had our ups and downs with the football program over the last 3 years, but he's always kept consistent. He's never quit. He's never been discouraged. He just goes out there and plays his hardest, and super proud of the kid. I mean, it's really a great kid. But what's interesting is, so we own that pizza restaurant. Now he's got a new goal. He wants to get a pair of Meta Ray-Ban glasses, the ones that record and stuff. And so he wants money. And we're like, well, you can wash the cars, you can do this. Oh, I don't want to do that, I want to do that. So he somehow talked my wife into letting him work at the restaurant. He's going to start bussing tables tomorrow. He's working Friday and Saturday. I'm like, God bless you, son. I mean, that's crazy, 13 years old, but I guess there's some rules. I mean, child labor laws, obviously, but there's some rules. If it's a family business, the kid can start when he's 13, so he's going to start bussing tables at our restaurant, which honestly is pretty cool. But what I don't want him to do is fall into the trap of the hourly wage. Trading, I've never understood that. It always drove me crazy. The trading your time for money. And it's like, how could you sit there and, I guess if you're an hourly guy, and I've had 2 jobs where I got an hourly wage. One, I was 16 years old, and I worked at a department store for a short period of time. And then the other time was when I started working for my dad, and I was kind of a laborer, and he paid like the lower end labor guys that just started hourly until they got going. After that, I switched to what they call footage or piecework. So I would get paid by how much I made, how much I produced, and honestly, that should be the way it's. The world should be a meritocracy. It shouldn't be based on hourly, paying a wage, and there's no incentive. There's no. Why, if I'm making X amount an hour, would I push harder to do more? It's just anti-business, anti-success is this hourly trap and getting trapped in the comfort zone. You get comfortable making your X amount a week after taxes, and then you're paying all your bills, and you have X amount left over, and it's just like, I don't know, it's complacency, it's the comfort zone. I don't know. But I don't want him to get into that. What's nice about it is he's going to get a little hourly, but he also gets tipped out. So if he does a better job and schmoozes the waitresses and stuff, he'll make a little bit more money. So that'll be good for him, because like I said, everybody loves a kid. So that's my 13-year-old, and then there's my 7-year-old. Now my mom was a strong-willed woman, to say the least. She did things her way, and if you didn't like it, you could F off, and that's what she would tell you to do. She had a lot of, there was nothing that could stop her. She believed in herself, believed in what she believed in, and, she had a very big problem with authority. And I think I get some of that, where, this government overreach and all that stuff. And this was back in the day. Now it's worse what they're doing, what they're trying to do. But she ended up passing away in 2009 suddenly, and it was a terrible time in my life. But she was a huge influence on my life. A lot of things that I believe came from her and what she would tell me and say to me. Little expressions, little, attitudes, little beliefs. I would say politically I skew towards libertarianism. Do whatever you want, just don't interfere with me and don't hurt anybody else, and I'm fine with it. I just, and that's how she was. So she passed away. It was rough. And then in 2018, we had a oops baby, and that was my little daughter. And it was interesting because my wife was a little bit older. I was older. I was 40. Let's see, she's 7. I was 48 years old when she was born. And doing the math and thinking, oh my God, when she graduates high school, I'm gonna be 65. It's crazy to think about, but they say God only gives you what you can handle, and thank God for this little girl, because she was born, and the doctors, were examining her when she was born, and they literally said she's perfect, healthy, everything was perfect, and as cute as a button. But as as she's gotten older, she's really developed her own personality. And the other thing about my mom was everybody loved her because she was so generous. She would go out of her way for people. Christmas was her big holiday. She loved Christmas, and she would get all the relatives things and, you know, have the big family gathering and make sure everybody got together. I mean, that's how she was, and I see so much of her in my daughter. They look alike. My daughter's very stubborn on some things, and just like my mom was. My daughter loves art. My mom was very crafty and did a lot of art stuff, crafts throughout her whole life. She got into different things all the time that she was doing. And my daughter does the same thing. She likes to draw and do art projects. And my daughter's favorite holiday is Christmas. She loves Christmas. And my mom loved Christmas. It's uncanny, really, how similar they are. But it's also awesome because, yeah, I miss my mom. But the little sweetheart girl, last couple years have been rough for us, but, you know, she's kept me going in a lot of times, like just the little things that she does. Like just the other day, I sit down at my desk at home, and there's a drawing, and it says, "Dad, I love you, Dada." And then in the corner it says, "Dada, I will always love you until the day I die." I'm just like, just randomly puts it on my desk, and I'm like, oh my God. She took the time just to make that thing. I don't know, it's amazing. You know, art's funny too. She loves doing the art. We had a paint and sip at the restaurant. It was Malort, the liquor. And the picture was a Malort bottle with flowers coming out of it. And super popular, sold out like in hours, 35 people. And then we had to add another one, and that one sold out with 35 people. And so the first one we did, the lady brought some extra art stuff, and we were at the restaurant that night, and my daughter ended up sitting at a table with the ladies, and she's painting away. I mean, her artwork was great. I mean, she got a little more creative than most people. They just did like a standard background, and she added some stuff in the background and stuff, and it was just like, it was pretty cool. But just watching her sitting there and talking to the ladies as she's painting, like she's just one of the gals, just an old soul. But I don't know, she's special. All my kids are special. They're all great. I love them all, and I know they're all gonna be really good people, and that's what's important to me. But I'm pulling into work here, so cherish the ones that are close to you. Take care of them, nurture them, help them, and be good to each other. Have a good one.